you very nicely explained about engineers not talking about projects to others outside, because it's
Discussions.
why
Yeah.
just badmouth anybody for any reason.
Any reason.
If it all learn from somebody,
Yeah.
but don't badmouth anyone for anything.
It's like engineers don't have to have a moral certificate from anybody, but
Correct.
that adds on to your goodwill.
Plus professionalism.
Plus professionalism is the main thing.
Yeah.
So in that goodwill thing, one more thing I can add it to you. I'm a 100% studio engineer. I mixed only in the studios, but that goodwill helped me in traveling with singers throughout India, abroad also. So I'm not a great live mixing engineer, but I know what its sound should shape up. So with the help of the engineers which are supplied by the producer at that particular places, I can understand what is happening, and suddenly I can take up the mix. I can go from there where he stops.
Right.
So that's also a good thing. Keep in mind, like for the young engineers who is coming up, it's not only studio engineering. You can go out and do live engineering also. It's fun. Not every day. I personally I don't like to travel throughout the country, or like leave the family behind and you travel alone. I would love to take my family also with me. So at times I travel with singers, and I got opportunity to work with lots of singers for live engineering also. So that's also a good thing. So don't go and badmouth any singer behind, so that
Yes.
the singer won't accept you anymore. Some singers call up and ask like, is that the engineer? Yeah. Studio change kare? So that
Oh.
shouldn't happen.
Right.
So see, I have discussed with singers like this, and singers why they opted me, and you can ask any singer like I never did anything bad or wrong to any singer. So all singers recommended me. That's why I'm in this position today. I'm one of the great singers in our country I'm working with. So that's also a good thing. Like you can also, and last 10 years I'm working with him without any hitch.
On that note, let's move on to something that you will teach
Which
us.
is which we can discuss also. So now I thought like I haven't seen a 5.1 song being mixed in this channel. So I thought like it's a new start. I'll start with a song which I feel how the 5.1 should sound like. So this is from a film which recently I worked with Mahesh Manjare. One speciality I do, let me interrupt in between, like last 2 years, 3 years, whichever song I mixed stereo, I try to do the 5.1 of that song. Reason is, it's not like the senior 5.1 mix engineers are bad or something like that, because people don't give them time. Today time is a big factor. They rush up with the entire stems there, and that particular engineer just heard the song for the first time or a couple of hours. So he or she who is mixing for 5.1 final mix don't have that much of loyalty to that song or that particular project like how I have. So my point is, I'm there with this song when the arranger was there, when the programmer was there, when the live was there. So I know how this song shaped up. I was there when the singing was happening. I was there when the pre-mixing did. I was there when the rough mix sent for the shoot. After the shoot, it came back. I edited the song, and now I lived with the song almost a year now, or maybe 3 months, or maybe 1 month, maybe 6 months, whatever it is. Anyway, it is more than what a final mixing engineer lived with that song. So I know the song very much, and by God's grace, today I have a 5.1 setup. So I took the decision from that day onwards. Whatever song project and whatever film project I am doing, and if it is needed a 5.1, better, I can do a better job that he can do. So that particular intention inside me, and with discussion with all the mix engineers whom I know, they told like, why don't you can also do it? It's not a new theory coming up on it. So I started doing small projects, and I took as a reference from the senior mixing engineers. So they helped me out, like ye correct karo, ye correct karo. When the oscillators on, like which frequencies, how to travel, which to roll down, what to be sent behind, what to be sent in surround. what do we send in left, right, what can only send in the center, like that. I got a little bit of crash course from them on phone. By coming here, like I took ideas from Mr. Pramod J. Thomas, one of the twice national award winner. Ideas from Ajay, who is with Prime Focus and Big and I took ideas from Joshi, from Dolby guys, the R&S guys. Like that, I got help from Mr. Jose, who do lots of mastering for Dolby. So all these people help me out in getting the sound right, and it's 100% Dolby corrected, Dolby designed the way the speaker should be and the decibel levels. And they rolled it down, they EQ'd it, and got the best sound. And after mixing here, I took the projects for all languages, for Tamil, for Malayalam, for Kannada, for Hindi, for Marathi, and everywhere in the theatre and the mix studio, it sounded right. So that's why I thought like I'll explain nicely a project which I do. I take time. I'm not a fast mix engineer like how you expect like a 5.1 engineer does. I take my own time and I think about it very nicely. A nice spectrum, I make a nice soundscape I create so that all sounds are heard properly in the theatre and in rhythmically. Otherwise, sometimes you hear some percussion only hitting behind, nothing in there in the front. Or you can hear only the pads very loud behind and nothing in the front. And you can see the singer singing there and the harmony coming from all sides. So it will overpower the singer's voice which is only coming from the side. So everything should be a balance. It's not a mix engineer's problem. It's like that engineer is not given time to mix that song which is to be take care of, like how the stereo mix engineer have worked hard and made those stems and send it. So the senior engineer, the final mix engineer didn't have that much of time to work on it. So if you give him time, or any producer gives him time, he can also produce the same thing, but time factor is a must. So I take time and I do this.
The 5.1 mix that you do for songs, but people buy CDs in the market to download a song from iTunes, but that is a stereo mix.
That's a stereo mix.
So this is for film?
This is only for film and DVD.
Okay. So when you're watching a movie in the cinema hall,
theatre or a movie at home with your 5.1, you will hear what I'm going to play now.
Okay.
This is not there in the CD. This is not there on YouTube. This is not there.
Right.
On YouTube and everything is the slapped voice, my stereo.
Right.
And the 5.1, what we are going to give a class today, or we are going to an experience today,
Right.
is only played back in theatre and on a 5.1 DVD.
Correct. Unfortunately, in this video also we won't be able to get that
feel because it's not shot like that. We are using a single camera setup, and we are not taking the output 5.1 into the camera. So that we will do it later.
Yeah, but at least this will give a perspective
This
of
is
how
perspective of how, and this I am going to explain in such a way like with the limitations, like how I design the tone should go and sit in different places. So like what kind of frequencies go into which speakers and what is the cut we do and what is the voice and voice where it is placed and how to play around with the reverbs, how to play around with the harmony section, how to play around with the string section, how to play around with arpeggiators, how to play around with the moving instruments, solos, like lots of things. And ultimately Indian songs, very clearly for the engineers I am telling, people love to hear the lyrics right. So we can't play around with a singer's voice and singer's lyrics. Singer's voice and lyricist lyrics. Lyricist loves his lyrics to be memorized and sung by the whole mass. The singer loves to be heard everywhere loud. So the country is being made like that. The country is being propagated and built up like that. The singing should come out very well. The song should turn out very well. They are not much worried about like how I am designing the 5.1. But this is a class of 5.1 also, without hurting 5.1 feel, without hurting the singer's feel, without hurting the lyricist's feel. How can we do the best? So that's what this class about.
Thanks.
Hi everybody, this is a Mahesh Manjarekar film. It's a Marathi film which I just completed, and This song is been composed by Akhsay Hariharan. This song has been arranged by AB Salvin. There are live instruments, there are programmed instruments, and it's about, I feel, not less than 80 tracks. So once I get a song like this, I hear it for a couple of times after the stereo mix. After the stereo mix, these are the stems I bounced. As I'm doing it here, I don't have to send it to a different studio. I have bounced it in such a way. All the process signals I have taken. Wherever I like very minimal mix downs I made from the original track. Because I'm not sending it. If I have to send this particular project to other studio, obviously I will come down to like maximum 20 tracks. Now, why I kept in 80 tracks is because my freedom. Our studio where we did. So here there are a couple of percussions, there are a couple of main instruments, there are a couple of, how I designed it is like the keyboard sections, the live sections, the string sections, the main voice, and the processed voice delays and reverbs in it. So that's how I did the stem work. So see, the sections start with kick, snare, the added snare to it, a small loop to it, hi-hats and a cymbal. This is the first set of rhythm which I have. So here I have assigned it in such a way, like all the, except the kick, everything is being routed to stereo, like left and right. I have buzzed it to left and right. The rolling cymbals and some reverberated percussions, I have sent it to surrounds also. Kick, I have sent it to left right as well as LFE, or we call it sub bass. So that's how the rhythm section is being designed. So when I play back the rhythm section, it's been loud enough to impress the audience with this particular rendering of the track. So you get a full stereo image as well as a little faded image from the left surround and right surround due to this. Some percussions, some Indian percussions, I have given it to left right as well as to the left surround and right surround. Coming there to the rhythm section, after that I start off with the bass. The bass I have given it to left right as well as to the LFE or sub bass. From there I move down to the pad sections, the keyboard pads, the keyboard backings, EPs, stuff like that. This completely I have given more signals onto my left surround, right surround, and little bit signals onto my stereo. From there I move down to the hitting instruments like harp, like piano, like santoor, bells, all those, which are little sharper in the tone. So those signals, if I keep it in the stereo, it will 100% obstruct with the percussions and the rhythm which is going on there. So that I have pulled like an off stereo, like somewhere 30-40 degree ahead to the stereo, but not exactly behind till the left surround, right surround, somewhere in between. So it will be covered up like a spectrum now made, like how the stereo, what is in the center. Now the center is, I haven't discussed anything right now on the center. So left, right, and subs, and left surround and right surround. So this one cover of the song has been finished. One section of the song has been finished when you play back this. Coming back to strings. In strings, there are solo strings, the solo violin which is played, the solo cello which is played, which I keep which is being played on stereo. The rest of the obligatos, the backings, the harmony sections which they have made, that's about 12 tracks. Those 12 tracks have been another bed for the harmony section which we discussed before with the EPs and the pads and all. So that highlights these pads more, that string sections and that movements. And these movements have been designed in such a way like it keep on moving between the left surround, right surround. So you get the whole spectrum now in a moving condition. Right now everything was stagnant. When the strings came up, it started moving around. Like the strings creates a wave inside the song in this particular song. As well as coming back to solo instruments. Now solo instruments, they have used woodwinds, they have used French horns, they have used brass, they have used English flutes and all. So those guys come again on the stereo image left right, and some signals which we have been reverberated will go into left surround and right surround. So another moving instrument, another color happened to the song. So now almost the spectrum is being completed. That means the -1 is playing right now. And the -1 is playing, you can hear the entire rhythm, you can hear the keyboard sections, you can hear the piano section, you can hear the EP section, you can hear the harp section, you can hear the string movements, the string section, then you can hear the solo instruments too. After creating this -1 ambience, I slowly move into what should be in the center. In the center, I have kept the main singer's voice so that it is not being obstructed by anything. No frequencies is there. So the center was completely khali. So that particular gap or that particular silence now is being powered by the main singer. So the main singer voice is being kept dry. That's my style. I have kept dry on the center speaker. And the reverbs and the delays I play around with stereo as well as a second on the left surround and the right surround. So when the singer is singing here, his signals are moving from there towards you, and the hall, the theater hall or the mixing hall has been filled with his or her reverbs and delays and all. So it gives the whole color. That's how I shape up this 5.1. And without playing a song, I explained it. Now let's see after playing how it is sounding. I'm right now playing back on the music section, which how we explained how the spectrum is. This is a scene where the song has to move into. Here the vocals have to come out, but I'm playing around with the IT right now. Once this balance is ready, I will go into the voice also.
So is this playing in 5.1?
This playing in 5.1. So how I explained, the solos which you can hear it here as a stereo. There is nothing on the center signal, and all the subs went into the sub bass. Whatever more than 100-120 hertz gone into subs. Then my backing vocals and the backing of the songs, basically the strings which I explained, the keyboard sections, the pads, the pianos, the harmonies can be heard here as well as a little on the left surround and the right surround too, to cover up the whole song. So that's how we are playing back right now, the -1. With this video, I don't know how much idea you will get, but still, me and Aditya is feeling that.
Yes.
I added the main voice to it. Let's see how it is sounding.
तुझ्या माझ्या स्पंदनाच्या एक करू माणा दोघे मिळून या घालू देवाजींच्या गळा त्याला सांगू एकटे येणे आम्हा जमत नाही कुणी सुद्धा कुणाही वर जायचं नाही.
I'm not sure how much you all understood out of it, but still I try to explain the way I do.
There's this one question.
Yeah.
When we talk of 5.1
Yes.
mix, a lot of times a lot of people just try to fill up, every
Fill up.
speaker with some sound
Yeah,
just because it's available.
it's available.
Do you think that's the right approach?
See, I'm not here to comment in anybody's how they mix or something. For me, it is like the spectrum should be right. What kind of frequencies you are playing around with, what kind of sounds you are pushing back, and if suddenly whatever I was hearing here on the stereo, I just push it back just to fill that gap there on the left surround and the right surround, or if I have two more added speakers to it, I just fill it with those sounds. That doesn't sound good outside, or that doesn't sound good to me also. So first we have to decide, like when I got this one, that's what I told you. You can mix with the whole song. That's about 80 tracks which I have laid up in this particular song which you heard. So I sat and I colored it in such a way, like this is 100% help I have taken from my co-engineer also. Like his name is Bijin, and he's been trained under a 5.1 engineer in Chennai. So after he came, lots of our ideas have changed. My ideas have changed. He's from the young generation. He was with Priyadarshan for about 2 years. So now he joined us. So that's how we make the spectrum right. If the spectrum is not right, just to fill in things, like I push some string section here, I push some solos to the center, I put more signals there and I cover up the voice, or I put the voice very loud and drop the signals of the other things. When voice is there, if you heard this mix in a proper way, if you come to the studio and if you hear it, you'll come to know when the voice is playing around, I pushed all the things to a little bit more wider image, a little bit more to the stereo, a little bit more to the left surround, right surround, so the voice will not be hurt, and the other things, other elements which is used in the song is being heard properly. So it's as good as a stereo mix for me. Like there will not be much of a difference between the stereo mix and this 5.1 mix. So how closer you can make to your balance, to your stereo mix, or to your master, which you feel like it's your master, that's where I call it as a proper 5.1 mix. Like these engineers which I met with, like out of it, one Mr. Jose, who is doing lots of mastering for Dolby, he told like the LTRT should be the right thing, the left and the right signals from the 5.1 signal which it comes back. See, when you're playing back on a TV and suddenly your couple of speakers goofed up, so the signal which is coming through the set-top box plays, suddenly it has got, the software is loaded like that, it's called a metadata. A metadata from the set-top box comes to your TV and when it understands that you have a 5.1 setup at home, so that signals have been colored to 5.1. When this metadata understands, like you don't have a 5.1 setup at home and it's a stereo image which you are hearing at home. This particular all things will come closer to an LTRT mix so that you hear it in stereo. That time the signal shouldn't go up. That time it shouldn't jar up. That time it shouldn't distort. It should be heard properly. So for me, a 5.1 mix is as close as to the stereo mix and with the correct spectrum inside that. So just to fill in the speakers, just to fill in the tones here and there, you can't do it. Just because I have 5 speakers, I have the buttons here, I just push it wherever I want. The sound will go like that. If see that the master is the engineer. The engineer clicks like let it go to 1, let it go to 3, let it go to 5. The sound will go there. Sound don't have any particular brains like that. So the intelligence and the wisdom should come from you towards the song, so that the 5.1 will sound as good as your stereo mix.
Thank you so much, Saibu, for this tip. I hope a lot of people will gain from this tutorial that you have shared. Though we tried to capture whatever we could, but
in the limited time.
Yes, and limited resources that we have to shoot. But thanks so much for your time.
Welcome.
Thank you.
God bless.